let's say I have been asked to solve this equation. Okay, so this question might seem very new to you because you have just learned what the greatest integer function is, but this is a very simple question. To solve this question, you need to have knowledge about the absolute value function, you need to have knowledge about the greatest integer function and the fractional part. Now, while we were studying inequalities, we had studied absolute value function. In that case, there we had seen that to solve questions related to absolute value function, we need to take cases where the first case would be when the absolute value function is positive, the second case being when the absolute value function is negative. So let's take the two cases. Here we have, let's assume that this part 2x minus 1, first case, let's assume that 2x minus 1 is greater than 0. Okay, that means x has to be greater than half. If 2x minus 1 is greater than 0, this I can write it as 2x minus 1 equals to 3 times box of x plus 2 times fractional part of x. Now this x, I can write it as box of x plus fractional part of x, right? Now, so I get 2 box of x plus 2 times fractional of part of x gets cancelled with this side, minus 1 equal to 3 times box of x, or I get box of x equals to minus 1. If box of x is equal to minus 1, what does it mean? It means that x lies between minus 1 to 0. But we have seen that we got this condition assuming this condition, but this condition is not a subset of this condition. We have assumed that x has to be greater than half, but what we are getting is x should be in minus 1 to 0. Now since this value of x doesn't lie in this interval, so this can't be a solution. So using this case we don't get any solution. Let's see what we get using the second case when 2x minus 1 is less than 0. Let's assume that 2x minus 1 is less than equal to 0, or x is less than equal to half. This equation gives okay. Now this I can write as okay. Now finally I'll get okay. Now how do we solve this question? We have a box function one side, we have the fractional part function on the other side. How do we solve this question? You know that there is a very important condition regarding fractional part. We know that the fractional part of x should lie between 0 to 1. Okay, in this case what is the fractional part of x? It is 1 minus 5 times box of x, 4. So this should lie between 0 and 1, or we can say 1 minus 5 0 to 4, or I'll get box of x. From this I'll get box of x lies between minus 3.5 to 1.5, the equality in this case here. Okay, now what is the value of box of x which lies in this interval? That is only 0. If box x is equal to 0, then only box x will lie in this interval. If box x is equal to 0, then What is the fractional part of x? The fractional part of x is equal to, from here we see that the fractional part is equal to 1 by 4. Box x is 0, fractional part is 1 by 4. So what is x? X equals to 1 by 4. So from the first case we get x equals to 1 by 4. From the second case we don't get any solution to this. So the solution to this equation is x equals to 1 by 4. Okay. So we just covered some important, very important standard equations or functions rather. Now let's get to where we had left. We had left our discussion on domain and range of the function. Let's get back to that. Okay. Now you know that domain is what? It was the set X, codomain was the set Y, and range is again a set which contains only the images of the domain X. So graphically, if we represent using a Venn diagram, we had two sets like X, Y. This set has elements, this set has some like elements, more elements. Now we had a mapping from set X to set Y like this using some rule F. So all these elements is the domain, all these elements comes in the codomain, and only these images comprises the range of the function. Now in questions you will be asked to find the domain and range of some functions which will be given. Now to find the domain and range, when you are asked to find the domain of a function, what they mean is find the values of x for which the function is satisfied. Now to find the range of a function, what they mean is you have to find the corresponding values of the function for given values of x. So let's start with domain. Domain, what it means is set of values of x that the function can take. So we need to find this. When we are asked to find the domain of a function, we need to find the set of values of x for which the function can take. Okay. So let's start with some problems. Let me give you some 3-4 questions and let me ask you to find the domain of this function. The first question is, the second question, the third question, and the fourth question which I would like to give you to solve is okay. I would like you to take your time, try solve this question, pause the video, try solving this question, and again to see the solution you can play the video.